Good morning, good evening, everyone. My name is Anderson, and welcome back to the another lesson with me. Today, again, we're going to study about quantifiers. We also studied quantifiers in the previous lesson, which was few and little. These quantifiers are used to express these small, tiny amounts. But today we're going to study three quantifiers: too much, too many, and a lot of, to describe a big amount of noun. So let's start. In today's lesson, we're going to study about too much and too many and a lot of. But before we move on to the main part, we're going to review the part 1, which is few and a little. And then we're going to move on to the main parts, too much, too many, and a lot of. Very good. And we're going to study with examples, with a lot of examples. So don't worry about it and follow me. Very good. So what did we learn from the previous lesson? We learned few and a few. When do we use it? We use few and a few when we described uncountable, plural, nouns, and also small number. Yeah? For example, 2 dogs and oranges. 2 dogs and 2 oranges. Compared to 100 dogs, compared to 1,000 oranges, 2 dogs are small. Then we should use few and a few to describe a small number of noun. For example, I have a few dogs. I have few dogs. I have few dogs in my house. I have 3 oranges in my house. Like that. Now, what about the uncountable nouns? We use the quantifier little and little to describe nouns, which is uncountable. Let's quickly talk about the meaning of uncountable. Uncountable nouns is the noun that we cannot count, right? For example, money. We cannot count money. Water, can we count water? 2 waters, 3 waters, that's not possible. So that's why we used little and little. Even the sand. I think teacher Rodney, we can count sand. However, sand is really tiny. So something like liquid, yeah, or small objects. When we want to describe this, we use little and little. For example, we use I have little and a little money. So this was it. But however, we learn a bit further the differences between little and few and a little and a few. So the quantifier with a or without a. So when we use little and few without a, it includes a negative feeling, something bad. Okay? So, for example, I have few lemons. I have few lemons. We can count, so that's why we used few. I have little money. Since we cannot count money, we use the little, right? So, quantifiers without a includes a negative feeling. So, I have few lemons, so I feel bad. I have few lemons, so I feel bad. I have little money, so I feel bad. Okay? So, this was it. Negative feeling. What about this one? Quantifiers with a includes a positive feeling. Yeah? I have a few lemons. I have a little money. But it's still fine. I'm fine. I have a little. It sounds difficult, but when you get used to it, it'll be okay. One more time. The quantifiers without a includes a negative feeling. Quantifiers with like little and few with a, we include a positive feeling. Okay? Very good. Now, let's move on to the main parts of this lessons. So, what do too much do? Well, first of all, the most basic knowledge is we used quantifiers too much to describe a big amount of noun. And secondly, we use too much for an uncountable nouns. We use too much to describe bad nouns that you do not like. Okay, now let's go back to the first description. To describe a big amount of noun and uncountable nouns. Yeah? Something like juice. Can we count juice? It's liquid. No. So, when we describe a big amount of juice, we need to use too much. And you don't like juice. This is the perfect quantifier. So, when you say too much, it means it's too much. Don't pour juice anymore. It's too much. It's too much. So one day, like my friend gave me a bottle of juice in my cup, and then it's almost coming out from a cup, and I say, oh, my friend, it's too much. Don't worry, no, it's fine. Thank you. Just like that. Too much. The bad nouns that you do not like. Okay, let's move on to another example. So my friend Max was in the school. It seems like they're going to have a summer vacation, summer holiday. Yeah? And teacher says suddenly, "This is the homework during the summer. This is the homework during the summer." Well, the teacher said, "You need to finish all these homework during the summer." And Max doesn't like this. Max doesn't like homework. I hate homework. I don't know what why should I do this kind of homework? I don't want to do it. And it's too much. It's too much. You cannot count homework. So, Max is angry. Yeah? Max is very angry about the homework that he needs to do. So, the Max said, "I have too much homework this summer. Homework is uncountable now. So that's why we use too much. Homework is like a big homework like this. And Max does not like homework. And then I say I have too much homework this summer. Okay, very good. On the another day, Max went out for a meal. And suddenly he realized it's raining really hard. And Max does not like rain. First of all, let's look at this noun, rain. So, can we count rain? So, can we just look up the skies and then we can see the number of rains? No, actually, rain is an uncountable noun. Yeah. So, in this situation, we need to use there's too much. Too much. Much is really important because we use too much to describe a big amount of noun which is uncountable, something we cannot count. So there's too much rain outside. So okay, that was the right answer. Then oppositely, what do too many do? So we use the quantifier too many to describe a big number of noun. It's just as same as too much, right? However, the differences are countable nouns. So we use too many for describing countable nouns, which we can count, right? Let's move on to the example. For example, Max went to the cinema around his street and he wanted to watch some really nice film in the cinema. But suddenly he realized there's a lot, maybe 1,000 or 150 people in the cinema. He realized. Well, actually, Max does not like crowded places. He does not like it, right? So we can't count the people, but seems like there's a lot, maybe 200, right? Yeah, I just said it. I can't actually count people, but I can count people. So in this kind of situation, we need to use the quantifier too many. There are too many people in the cinema. That was it. Very good. Now let's move on to the a lot of. So a lot of, the same as the too many and too much. It's same, right? Why? Because a lot of also be used to describe big number and amount of noun. However, a lot of takes care of both nouns, countable and uncountable. So we use a lot of to describe a big number or amount of noun, whichever the noun is. So even though it's the water, it's fine. Even though it's people that we count, that's perfect. Another differences is we use the quantifier a lot of to describe good nouns that you do like. You like something that you can count or you cannot count. You can say a lot. You like it. So I have a lot of money. Something like that. So let's move on to the example. So for example, our friend Max went to the ATM machine. ATM machine is where we withdraw the money. It's a machine, right? So Max withdraw the money, and he took out maybe 10,000 pounds right away. And will he like it or not? Of course he will like it. Everybody loves money, no? So as well as Max loves money, and there's no way that Max hates money, right? But he loves it, right? So in this kind of situation, we cannot count money, uncountable. And it's a big number and you love it, it's a good noun. Then in this situation, what quantifier should we use? Too many? Too much? A lot of? The answer is a lot of. Why? Because you love it, you like it. So you need to say a lot of, not too much. Like you don't say, oh, I have too much money. Like that doesn't make any sense. It is not possible, right? So a lot of is the right one. Okay, let's imagine that there's a lot of birds here. Check. Birds, and Max likes birds. They are beautiful birds. Yeah? Like this. A lot of birds in Max's garden, right? So, can we count birds? Well, as we can see, we could count birds. 1 bird, 2 birds, 3 birds, 4 birds, and 5 birds in total. So we had 5 birds, don't we? Yeah. So 5 birds. We can count it, and Max loves it. And then which quantifier should we use in the sentence? We need to use a lot of. Then what if he hates it? Okay, then we need to use too many birds in my garden. Okay, very good. Well done, everyone. Move on to the part 2, and let's practice with various quizzes. Well done, everyone. I'll see you in the part 2. See ya.